If you consider yourself a recovering people pleaser, I have a question for you, which is frankly, what in the fuck does that look like? Because I've been on a journey for myself in my own life over the last 3 years. My name is Justin Schumann. Human is in my last name, and I would say I have chronically felt too much for decades in my life. And over the last 3 years, by showing up and sharing my much on social media and using the storytelling and public sharing and practicing of being myself, I've built up the confidence to then be that version of myself in my real life, which has entirely rebranded and changed my life in these 3 years for the better. Wasn't easy. Had to cut some bitches out of the life and some things and start saying no and setting boundaries. But at the same time, I've built an incredible business for myself by sharing my story and my muchness online, by helping other people now to remember their voice, right? We're not fucking discovering something that doesn't exist. You had this voice once upon a time before you quieted it, before other people made you feel like shit for being yourself. Fuck, we're just making a little breakfast. But what does recovering people pleaser really look like? Because at the end of the day, it's not an illness, right? It was a safety mechanism. It was a defense that you leveraged because you were terrified of being called out for being different or extra or taking up too much space, because when you were young, someone else made you feel like shit for having done that, probably for something that absolutely wasn't your fault and probably was just a trait about you, talking whether it was, look, I'm a cis white man, so it could be your skin color, it could be the way that you speak, it could be the way that you laugh. People made fun of my last name. I started taking dance classes in 3rd grade. That really didn't help my cause publicly in elementary school. So to recover from people pleasing, if we were to look at the reverse, it's like, okay, pleasing yourself first. Well, how do you do that? Well, it takes looking inward internally and asking yourself, what thought patterns, what actions do I need to shift such that I no longer run all of my words, my choices, edit and filter them through the sieve and colander of what I think the people around me want me to be. So you can't just do all of this shit in your head, right? You can't just do the journaling and the therapy, although they are wonderful modalities. You have to externalize this healing at some point to fully recover. By the way, I think this is like fucking an addiction at some point. I wouldn't even call people pleasing like an ailment. We are addicted to it at a certain point because it's habitually how we functioned for so long. I think there will always be small areas in your life where you feel too much. For me, that's like romantically, it's a very difficult thing for me to get out of when I'm dating or, in a relationship. It's probably one of the only places I still feel where I can't fully show up yet, but I'm working on it. But you can't just do this inside